Hello and welcome back to Transport Fever 2. We are sat at Upper Prince's Risborough and my detailing has continued. It's not much, but it's starting to come together quite nicely. That's not what we're doing today though. Today we're going across the river towards Biggleswade. I've also been hard at work. Well, it's not really hard work. Enjoying sitting and watching our freight trains go up and down the track to get a fairly accurate consist together for us. So we're going to make the changes. There are a few extra steps involved. That's why I've left it for today's episode, so you can see what you might need to do if you are trying to keep the traffic down on your network. And in a game like Transport Fever, keeping your own traffic off the roads and rail is key to keeping things moving. So yes, rather than piling more and more stuff on, do it better. Better? No, not really the correct word, but you know what I mean. Possibly. I don't know what I mean at the moment. So anyway, there we go. Our train is looking rather beat up there, isn't it? Our steam train. That's fine though. I mean, it's hanging on. That's what we'll call that. So UI's up. There's no real reason to replace this. It's superficial, isn't it? The aging. If the maintenance cost us more because it was old, which would technically be accurate, I suppose, then it would be worth doing something with the maintenance. But since it just affects the noise of the trains, which in turn then affects the emissions layer, then given how our layout is, we don't really affect our residents too much. So not a big deal. Okay, let's head over. Goodness me, this map's pretty huge. I forget how big it is sometimes. We're going to have to do something here. Possibly allow them over the other side of the road. Although it does look like they are heading that way. Maybe this can come over as well. Lee is pretty huge now. Yeah, that's got big, hasn't it? Pretty quick. Lovely. We'll ignore the fact that we're not keeping up there. But we will check on it. We're not going to ignore it forever. Back over Mitcheldean, which is nothing's changed as of yet. I will show you what has been pointed out to me in the comments. It's one I always forget about. If you use right Alt and L on the keyboard, there we go. It looks a bit of a mess, but that is the pathing for the AI. Yeah, your little people will walk along those. There's different coloured ones. The ones we're interested in, if we look just under the station there, you'll see a little dip, and you'll see that is over here, and then there's a straight line all the way to this one up here. I can't tell if they go underground as well. I think they do, don't they? They can go down here. There seems to be a straight line heading up there, so yes, I think they can get every way. Anyway, let's turn that off before we confuse ourselves any further. Now, heading over to Biggleswade. It's over that way, which is kind of nice, really. We do want to be heading on this outside. I think that's what we're going for. The reason is because we've got high-speed tracks and our express will bypass Biggleswade. We can have a nice, gentle curve all the way under. Well, I say under how we're staring at it now. Under Biggleswade. And then around, and then eventually, I know we're going to have to avoid the oil well there, but eventually we can slot in up here. The other option is to have this as a passenger airport as well and have an out-of-town hub, transport hub over this way. The only problem we've got then is getting over that way back to, where are we? Yeah, back to Henley. After we stop at Worthing, our next stop is Henley, and that is the complete loop done. So we have to get over the water. Now, oh, not there. Mitcheldean. This I mistakenly completed it all. It doesn't look like it at the moment. I've got a save for us. I'm going to pause it there. I would like to show you a quick way to make the perfect bridge across a river. I actually use this method for creating what you're about to see when we're done with this. But yes, I was so happy with my first attempt, I couldn't not use it. Double negatives for everybody. Okay, so first things first, get your layer up. The beautiful thing about, well, it's both beautiful and slightly frustrating in Transport Fever is that the water is always at 0. Really handy for bridge building, terrible for everything else, such as running streams and waterfalls and stuff. What we need to do is keep an eye there. We want to get this up to 13 meters. We're not going to do it in its correct place. We're just examples. So a little bit more there. 13 meters. Perfect. Draw it across. This will give you a nice platform to start with. Doesn't matter what you do over the other side. And it will also give us a nice flat section of track. There we go. Slope is 0, 0. Make sure, doubly make sure. Aim for where you want it. And then draw it across. And don't clip on anything. If you drag it across and you go to the side, it will snap once it's perfectly straight. There you go, just there. And as you can see at 13 meters, we've got exactly enough room to get under there. If you go 12, it mostly doesn't work. 13 is a nice safe one for us. We've also got these new bridges, which is what I used. Take off the layer. Look at that, perfect. And you'll definitely get under there. What I've actually done for this one is we're having a nice 4-track. The bridge looks better and better the more tracks you add to it. There we go. This is what you'll see. What I've also done, because we've already got the height here, is I redid this bridge using the same bridge type as we've got for our rail. But there you go. Nice simple bridges. And if we go to the, what is it? Yeah, navigable waters. A word I don't like. You'll see we can get under there. We can get under it by arching it too. There's nothing stopping you adding a little arch in there with M and N on the keyboard as you're building your bridge. But there's no need if we get under there, is there? There we go. And it's even sat quite nicely. So we're going to do a little transition. I'm going to get rid of that to go back to how it was before we built that. And we can transition into my finished product. Oh, I don't know why I'm deleting this. Anyway, I thought I'd show you, if you've forgotten or don't know, how to, or how I do, the transitions that we have. First off, camera tools. So I've got a little frame list here, and each of these frames are what I've been using for the transitions over the series. We've only had 4, but you can take this off. That's a good one, and then you don't get all the gubbins. And then for this one, well, actually, this one should be the one we had the previous. Yeah, there we go. The previous transition from last. Was it the last episode? It might have been. And this is what we're going to use for this one. So, Alt-G, hide the UI, and throw the mouse off the screen. And then I hit play and talk a little bit, and there is the transition. Isn't that looking better? I think so. I was quite chuffed with myself that I got it first time, and I was that pleased with it that I found it heartbreaking to start it again, just in case it didn't look like that. But believe it or not, over where our bridge starts on the other side of the river there to us, that is what we did just a minute ago, raising up the side of the embankment of the river and keeping it flowing. And then I took the road over the top, and it's not too bad looking. I'm quite happy with it. We go above one end and below the other, although it's probably in for some flooding, if that was such a thing in Transport Fever. It isn't, so we're fortunate. Now, there were a few extra things I did in between the transition there, which was load up this save and then set it all up again. But with the magic of editing on for YouTube, it looked seamless, maybe, perhaps, I don't know. Normally I record something beforehand and then transition while I'm talking. So we'll have to see how that goes. There goes our local service, and then our express behind it. Only 26 people on it. It's not a complete route though. None of what we've got really is complete because they're all going to interact with each other. So our express is going to do the full loop and make its way to Henley via this new bridge and past Biggleswade up to, was it Worthing? Only just looked at it. Yes, Worthing. But yeah, what do you reckon, guys? I've also built some streets for them. I've locked this. We own that, so they won't delete or build on the sort of access road to out of town. They are growing out here. It might be a future idea that we have access on this side as well. We'll see. We've got a little ways to go before they start growing. Before we move over to Biggleswade, I would like to address our lacking in line rates that we've got over here. One of our first, isn't it? Was it the second, I believe? I think this was the second freight line we set up. But as we saw last time out, we weren't quite hitting it, were we? No, we got 914 and 821. I didn't really want to put extra trains on, as it's the pricier option. And if I can get away with a single train without having the platforms overly long, they are going to get longer, which is one of the keys to making sure you meet demand. But we're not going to do too much to the train. It's good timing on the old coal train here. I have jotted down all the information required to make this. Now, I'm going to say close. It was fluctuating, and there was only so much time I could sit there and watch it go backwards and forwards, and didn't want it to go too far over, as that would have been a bit of a waste of money. Not that money's a big issue, but we're about to get more once he flips around. We're going to adjust him. I'll wait until he flips around in case it causes any issues. Right, there we go. Let's build the new freight train. Manage vehicle. It's going to keep the 1042 on the end. However, how many we got on here at the moment? 26 on there at the moment. We actually want 33, which does seem a lot for this single 1040 here. Oh, actually, no. I do want to flip you. Oh, you'll see why in a second. The reason is, when we add a new loco, which is the key to hauling this weight in a reasonable time, is having enough oomph on there to get up to speed as fast as possible. So we'll get 33 on here. I think that's too many grand. You're just putting many on there, aren't you? Is that it? Modify. There we go. So we've got 33 on there. We're not done though. What we're going to stick on the back is just this one. Firstly, and importantly, allows the wagons to get up to their full speed of 75 miles an hour, as we got 78 here, but it adds a little bit of power. Not the full clout that we'd get by having another 1042 on there. Did I call it a 1024? I've written 1024 down here. Why? Is that a resolution? I think it is, isn't it? 1024 by 768? Yeah, maybe. That's all my programming background coming in. Anyway, that aside, the 1042, my notes are going to be confusing now. We're going to have a black 44 on the back. There we go. Needs to flip the other way, doesn't it? We're facing the wrong way now. That's all right. Right, you go off. As you saw just here, it was the perfect demonstration, apart from the concertina ring. This stays at the back now. So what's going to happen is, when we're empty, this is going to be leading the smaller unit, and when we make the return journey, it's going to be led by the beefier unit, which I kind of like. And we're going to do the same here. I completely forgot what we had. Another crocodile on here, but it will be the last, wouldn't it? Maybe. I think so, yeah. So we're going to do the same thing. It's going to change to a 1042, not 1024, and it will have a RE44 on the back. For me, that's a cleaner solution. There is one more thing we have to do before you get here, Mr. Coltrane. Robbie, we have to configure this, although we're going to have to make a little bit of room down here because we need that curve nice and curvy. Yes. No, we need to maintain the speed. We need to add some platforms. And we'll add one there. We don't need any faster than 75 mile an hour tracks, so there's still no need to upgrade the tracks on this. There we go. We've added a little bit of length to our, or a lot of bit of length to our station. It's very much required. I mean, we could tidy this up a little bit, couldn't we? We could get that and flatten it out either side and then official episode it a little bit and get it nice and smooth. There we go. Just drag that off either side. And we're done. Official episode that just to blend it in slightly. But either side of the station should be lovely and smooth. And then we've got to reconnect our track back up. This end, 72 is absolutely fine. I'd prefer it to be 75. I don't know whether we can get away with that. It might be somewhere up there. Let's take that back a touch more. I'm pretty confident we can get in there at 75. There we go. Just needed to take it up a little further. And then we've got the perfect arc round there. There we go. Right, 75 on that. We'll check on the figures once we've changed the iron ore train. I can't remember if I did anything to this. I believe it just worked eventually. Right, let's get him back here. We'll do the same setup with the iron train where we've got the 1042 at this end. So we'll let him... I guess we can do it while he's in the platform, right? We'll let him empty though. It does mean trying to catch it exactly on 0. That's a game and a half, isn't it? There we go. Can we get it on 0? Oh, look at that. That was... Oh, I impressed myself there. Anyway, manage vehicle. Don't mess it up now, Gran. We need 29 wagons on this one. We can get away with just a 1042 on this, kind of. However, we get this situation where we have to keep adding wagons and we hit diminishing returns quite quickly after 29 wagons. Well, before then, actually. So, 22... We need 7 more on there to make 29. Let's get into cargo. We'll keep them default color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we'll top it off with an orange. A darkish orange. 4, 4. So there we go. It's matching what they're carrying. We've got the black one for coal. And we've got an orange one for iron. Modify that an extra 24.5 million. There we go. And he should just leave, is what I'm hoping. It would have been probably best to do that with the other one. There we go. He's heading off. And we've left these. I could colour that one green, really, couldn't I? And then match the crocodile. Ah, it's too late now. You're gone. I do like that they switched to their red lights on the rear when they're when they flip round like that at the station. But there we go. Currently being led by the RE44 and helping at the back. It's not really helping, is it? It's probably having a rest. Get it back up to the station within a reasonable amount of time. Is that one. There we go. They've already gone up. We have 1170 at the moment. It did stay on that when I tested this out for a little while. Eventually it gets up to close enough. I say close enough on the line rates because when you go to the factory, which we'll do shortly, after a while, it does say 100% delivery. So the line rate, the way we've got this running, the line rate and the what the factory says do not align. Oh, here comes our train. That's mainly down to the accuracy of the information that's displayed to us, more than it not doing it. It could not be accurate at all, but I'll go with what the factory says, because that's the important thing, isn't it? Yeah, the line rates, as we've seen, is very guesstimation-y. Yeah. So, and fluctuates wildly, especially if you have lines that take, or are not divisible into a year exactly. Okay, so if we go over here and we click on suppliers, you'll see shipping 1200. It does fluctuate a little bit. That's mainly because we've got our timings don't quite go into a year, but our transportation figure there, that, as you'll remember from the previous episode, is based on the previous 12 months, so it's like a running total and will go up. And so at the end of the episode we'll check back on this one. As you can see there, it's creeping up, and our total shipping figures there are fluctuating, but only just. That's why I said it's close enough. I'm happy with that. We are going to meet demand, and that will not get any bigger. We're running to absolute maximum there. 1200 is our limit. 1200 is our limit. This shipping figure here is the same as the one we saw just there. Beautiful. Right, and then our consumers, we're a little bit behind on the steel delivery, although we only just changed that. I will have to double check. We might need an extra wagon on the back. We're at 394. Do you know what? We'll do it. We'll stick another one on. It doesn't matter if it stays at the station a little while, even though I feel like we're possibly going to be delivering it. I'll tell you what, we'll leave that. I wasn't overly concerned about the steel delivery, but yeah, we've only just changed it, haven't we? Effectively. Yeah, absolutely fine. Right, leave that. Let's tidy up this one, and then we're done. Not this one. Where are we now? Bradford on Avon. Nope. We want this. We're going to do something similar here. We're going to be adding a 4-4 to the coal. The iron doesn't need it. However, if you'll remember back, I was pondering moving this. It does only need to move that way, and I'm just going to take it to the bridge because it sort of makes sense to do that, and then we'll adjust it. As you'll see, we are going to wait, and that is affecting our figures somewhat. So we can't really plan accordingly, although it's alright at the moment. It is fine. What's the rate that we've got currently? Yeah, we're at 1016. We're just going to tweak that one. Where's our coal train? Is he on the way back? That would be perfect timing if he is. We do have to change the length of this and give it a bit more power, because it's a short journey as well. Getting up to speed on acceleration is very important. We've also got something to do down here, which is why we've got to rework this section. I'm hoping you're going to shift that way. In fact, let's utilize some of the game's quirkiness to shift this along. You'll see we added a platform there. Well, there's one more required for balancing this perfectly, or perfectly enough. So we're going to have to get rid of this and all of that, because we're going to come in at a slightly different angle. That's what stays underneath the track. Yes. But there we go. We can delete under it before we build this time, and it will stay like that. But we need another section on this station in order for our calculations to work correctly. And we'll need us another platform section. It's not too long, to be fair. We need to connect that up to there. Then we need to drift in. And so we're going to delete this back. Let's make this tidier. And we've got the same issues there. Let's flatten that down. Just using the flattening tool there. Right, let's send you up there. Too much curvature. What's up with you? What's going on there? That's not pleasant, is it? Yeah. I guess I'm not even sure what's going on there. I guess we're at a strange angle, perhaps. I'm just going to redo this then. And see if we can't get it tidy. Can we get you tidy? Is that better? Do we have any strange speed bugs now? We do not. Ignore the all the sections it makes. Can't be helped. I mean, it can sometimes, but it's not worth faffing around with. Unless you're detailing, of course. Right, so now we can go across here. Beautiful. Right, can we get 75? We can. And we're going to take this and extend it all the way up the track. Yes, you're going to complain. We don't mind, but we have pushed it up the track a bit, which might help us. I can't quite remember where I needed to put it, so that will be something we'll have to judge. But it does... Oh, dear. Why, game? Why? Oh, dear. Right, let's look from that way, and hopefully you won't dance. Now, don't dance. Beautiful. Right, send you up to there. That's all nice and neat. And we've got our crossover up here and back again. We shouldn't need to worry too much about how this goes. We need to take that back. Yeah, that's where the little segments do become a little frustrating. Manageable. It's a switch there. There should be 75 as well. And we can get you hooked up there. Lovely that we made a full section. And we need to get rid of... Well, do we? Do we need to cross over there? We can, can't we, get access going across that way. So I don't think for a temporary sort of crossover we need to worry. So we can make that two-way there. And we can get rid of that one. And then we'll have our one-way signal up this end, which is where it should be. There we go. And hopefully it never uses that one apart from passing through it. And then we'll get back with our one-way signal up there, will we? You're just using that at the moment. Yeah, what we need is a one-way signal here. I guess technically we could have a couple of one-way signal, or at least a one-way signal there. No, because this needs to be two-way, doesn't it? Yeah, I'll tell you what then. We'll route it round and then that will solve that. Rather than having signals we don't need. So let's get our lines. We'll get Alsham iron freight, manage the line. After the iron mine, we're just going to pop in this signal down here, which should split them up. Yes, and yes, and then we need one here, don't we, as well? Because what's happening is we're not crossing over. I guess technically we could have a one-way signal there, but like I said, if we're going to use that as temporary access, we need to stay there. So after the steel mill, go there. There we go. Now it shouldn't dance around. We should avoid the coal mine because we've got to get over here. I think we're good. Now we get to change the length of these. So let's start with our iron train. Again, I've worked it out for us. We're currently at 21 wagons. We need another 6 on there for no, we don't. We need an extra 1 on there, maybe 2. And we also need to extend the platform. I'm gonna put 1 on there. I've got my notes are brilliant. So first off, it says 1024 instead of 1042, hauling 22 question mark wagons. I cannot remember what the question mark is, so it's a rather apt question mark, isn't it? Yes, and we're going to just throw on another platform on this side, which makes it slightly shorter, but we can still get the curve. So there we go, we've got a new platform, either end. Very symmetrical now. Lovely. Now, can we get round there? Or did I choose the wrong side? Who knows? I'm hoping it stays at, no, it's 75. That's why I chose that end then. Perfect. Did I ever show you we've got a bridge over here now? I'm going to assume so. Right. Let's hit play. We're going to get over to our iron stuff. When our train... what have you done, Grand? No. What you need... We've got that same thing going on. We're going to need to flip this. And send him back. Then we need to stick the RE44 on the back like we've got over the other side. And again, it means we're going to be pulling heavy with the 1042 on the front and then light with the 44. Modify this for this new consist. We've currently got 23 and spoilers, we need 27. So that's another 4 on there. Nice and easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll get the RE. I guess we could do black again for this, or slightly off black. So dark grey. There we go. That should be that. And then I'll flip it back round. That should stay at the back. Yeah, if we flip this now, you'll see it's got its red lights there. And we hit reverse. And there we go. Driver appears and the main lights appear. There we go. Isn't that cool? It's touches like that make me grin when playing Transport Fever. It's lovely. Absolutely lovely. So yes, I do praise Transport Fever. Well, in fact, I feel like I praise Transport Fever more than I complain. Anyway, shall we tidy this up? It has its quirks, doesn't it? It has its quirks. We're going to leave, I think, a little bit of an access road down there, a pretend one, because we do have the depot up that way, don't we? It's got its own depot on this section. Currently, both of our steel industries operate in their own little bubble, don't they? We are going to change that eventually. We're going to have a nice link track to the main line. Right, yes, I was concentrating far too hard there. Let's have a quick look. What are you guesstimating now? Well, our coal is... there we go. It should be a little over. That's the plan anyway. We can double check with our steel suppliers. There we go. 1200. The transportation figure will go up. We can check back on that later though. Probably another episode. Am I going to get us over to Biggleswade? It'll be a bit of a rush. Perhaps what we should do is at least extend the line out here, shouldn't we? Yeah. Where are we going? We're going this side so we can get a nice curve. Don't have curve stations yet in vanilla Transport Fever. And the ones we do have are not quite how I envisaged modular curve stations, but there's a really fancy one, but we're not going to get into that. Too many mods for this series. We need the height out this way, which is 16 meters. And where are we at the bridge? 13. And ideally, because we've got to cross over a smaller river down here, if we do go over here at 13, meaning we can stay perfectly flat along here, it does mean a little bit of cutting. But if we approach this and cross at 13, we automatically give ourselves enough clearance to run some boats down this end as well. Now we are going to go to Logistical as well. A little local service is going to branch off and run parallel with our road here. And it's actually then going to maybe reverse out of here and head up to Twickenham and then back again. And at Twickenham, we might have another station on the opposite corner of Twickenham, like here, and pass by our, there goes a plane, pass by our iron over there. So let's use the inside track first, which is going to be that way. We are going high speed. What is it like if we maintain our height? Is the cutting excessive? It is a bit, isn't it? Right, then gentle. We're going to go gentle up, just a couple of clicks. Now I say gentle because we've got the mod installed, which gives us realistic grades, which means it doesn't go up as steep as the default game. So what we need to do here is get the angle curving round, and then we're just going to head back down from this point. So we kind of go up and over like a crest, and we should be able to straighten up now, and we've got to look for 13 meters, which should be about spot on, right? If we get to this edge, 13, so 14 there, and then we straighten up. There we go, to 13 meters. Isn't it beautiful? Now this should give us the perfect height for our bridge. We'll see. You go over there. We'll use our brand new bridge, and there we go, guys. We have clearance, and we'll double check with the waters, and we've just got to raise up a little bit now, haven't we? Up to Biggleswade here. I can't believe we've made it to Biggleswade. Yes, that means next time out, what do? We just add Biggleswade to our network. We've done a lot of tidying up. We will finish this track. Is it going to be all... Oh, that's too much of a segment. Is it all going to be all about continuing more passenger services then? Now, what's impressed me about this section of the line now is the fact that we've maintained maximum speed. So it is a possibility we might see some super fast express action. We are going to have a slow line on this side, which may eventually be freight as well and run alongside our express service. We're going to be toying with our network and trying to make use of the main passenger line for some of our freight runs. Especially, it keeps it busy, doesn't it? It would be nice. There are sections where we can possibly utilize the express line as well, especially where our express train is going to be held up at stations. Right, let's end with some official episode just down here. Give it more of a gentle embankment instead of how steep it was there. It just makes me happy smoothing this and seeing it level out a little bit. There we go, just a gentle slope either side. We'll do the same over here. Also gets rid of any of the jaggies. Plenty of distance away from the water's edge there. On more solid ground, I guess there we've got some sort of foundation going on under here as well to toughen it up a bit. In fact, I bet there's a few layers of stuff going on underneath our railway there in real life. There we go. Guys, we've made our way over there. So we station up. Might be Worthing and Ludgershall, as well as Biggleswade. Perhaps we can get this going. I might have us go that end and then round so that we connect back into here, which is also going to be a line that goes straight through town. We're going to go straight through here. Yeah, that's going to be interesting, shall we say. But I would like this, since this is a local line, I would like this to run along the backs of these. Although, yeah, they're commercial. So this is lovely. There's going to be lots of level crossings there. It's a different approach. And then we'll branch off that way for our local line to Ludgershall and Mitcheldean. And then it's going to S then, isn't it? Sort of. Is that an S? If it starts here, there. It's an ugly S, sort of. I don't know what that is. No, that's just a wiggle. It's just some scribbles. Right, shall we get on a train? I don't know what we want to get on today. Do you know, we've not been on the freight train for quite a while, and we've got a new setup going. And our coal train is on the way back in. So, yeah. Alright guys, on board our coal train. Our iron train just screeched to a halt there. I have saved it, so we won't miss anything if I wasn't sure how close we were to the end of the year. So we won't miss any unlocks if they happen. Lots of steel waiting for our other train on the platform there. We're just dropping off some coal. And then I'll leave you to head back. Next time out, we'll link up Biggleswade at the very least. and finish off with a ride across our new bridge on the express line. And we'll start another line as well, a new local line over that side of the river. And it's going to be lovely, isn't it? Beautiful. Right, guys, thank you for watching. And until next time, take care.